harsh lighting. It's absolutely gorgeous day, and I have a lovely bright studio that lets in lots of light. So yeah, that's how it's looking a bit today. How are we all? Hello Alison, lovely to have you with us. Hi Alistair, hi Emmanuel, and hi Mum. Hi for those of you on Instagram. I have to apologise, I feel bad. I need to look at you here. I need to look at this camera to say hello, but what you're talking about and what you're saying is over there. So if I look really rude going to the side, that is why. Hi Pauline, nice to see you. Have we all had a lovely day? Have you had a good day? It's absolutely glorious here. So today I thought we would do some art journaling, and we're going to create little apatures so that we're kind of working on the page behind. I'll just start. That'll probably make much more sense if I just actually start. Hi Sue, how are you? Hope you've had a good day. If Sue, is it okay if I get you to copy the link from my page and pop it into the group? That would be fab, thanks. I was going to do it again myself, but getting Instagram set up was a pain, as it always is. But anyway, we're here and we're crafting and we're all good. So without further ado, I will twizzle you around so that we can see what's occurring. Okay, let's do that. Let's sort the lighting out so we're not streaming. Streaming, we do want to be streaming, that's not the word I meant. Strobing, that would be the one. Now it looks really dull here now, but anyway. Let me try that, there we go. There we go. Mum's been to Cromarty and had a lovely lunch in a beer garden. That sounds delightful. Right, so I am going to, so I've got, these are pages from my, let's get the brain in gear. This is the journal that I'm working in, and it has pages that come out because it's got a ring binder system. So I have taken 2 pages out, the black one, and we're going to work on this one and this one. So the first thing I have done is I have grabbed some hole punches and we will punch some holes. Just going to unlock these. Yeah, I have a sort of a plan. Whether it works or not, I have no idea, but we'll find out. I am just going to punch some holes randomly in this page. Try not to go too close to the actual binder part. Let's get some of this size as well. Mix it up a little. There we go. So we have created a page with holes. It's useful as a chocolate teapot. Right, we do have a plan. We have a plan. It's all going to be fab. I promise. Let's just trust the process. Right, I'm going to grab a spare bit of card. Because what I want to do first is we will do a little bit of stamping and we're going to emphasise these holes. Hello Elizabeth, lovely to see you. Right, I am going to use this ink pad here. This is Hero Arts White. It's one of the best white ink pads that I have come across. And I'm going to use some of these background stamps. Thank you, Sue, you're a star. So I'm going to use this one because we've got this gorgeous text. And I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of detail on this page. But then our main emphasis will be this page here. That's the plan anyway. We'll see what occurs as we actually start crafting. Right, I'm not going to use a block for this because I'm not particularly bothered about perfect stamping just as well, because that was terrible stamping. Right, I like it to look relatively straight. So once we get a little bit of white on here, we will have a bit of contrast. It will make much more sense. So we'll do that. Okay, and what else have we got? Well, let's have some of this. This one's got a little squiggle. I think fancy a squiggle. Squiggle. Well, we've had sports day today, which was fun. To be honest, I didn't know if we were going to get to sports day because little miss had a hospital appointment. But anyway, we managed to finish in time and it wasn't too taxing for her, so we actually got there. I think that's the first time in the whole time she's been at the school it's been on the same day as we've actually it was actually planned, so that's a first. Right, I'm going to add some of these different lines around some of the circles. Hi Kim. I've gone into crafting zone now. I've not actually been sat in here much today, so it's where do I get my inspiration? All sorts of places, really. That's a really hard one. I think it's just sometimes by stash. So today I was quite inspired by the stash, by other creatives. So that's the importance of, you know, sharing your work online, that we all inspire each other. I live in Scotland, so a lot of the scenery and the sunshine, like we're going to go for very sunshiny colours today. But what's going to make those sunshiny colours pop is the fact that we're going to have this contrast of black and white. Right, I also want to try and emphasise these circles a little bit. Sorry, that was a very ambiguous answer. Everywhere. Inspiration is everywhere. Right, let's try and get all the white pens out my pot in the hopes that at least one of them will work. Hello Lisa, how are you today? Get inspiration from my team. I have a pile of boxes under my desk of samples that have been sent to me and I need to get them out. Well, that one's not working very well. Right, let's try this one. That one's working semi-okay. So I'm just going to do some sort of circly lines around some of these. Maybe all of them. Why not? I'm doing a few because I don't want it to look overly accurate. I also don't want it to look overly inaccurate, which is why I'm using one of my stencils. Which one's better? This one. You're okay? You literally had earache. Oh dear. Sorry about that. Earache's not nice. Not nice at all. We're in the Children's Medical Centre today and it's so much nicer than the normal hospital. They had like Disney movies playing and it just had a much more nicer ambience. Quite liked it. I was thinking we should have that for us. For adults. There we go. Right, so this is probably this part of the page done. Because this page isn't going to be overly complicated. This page is going to create the framework and the intrigue for us to take a closer look at page number 2. I'm just going to stick a doodly border on because it's me. And I just can't seem to function without one. Hello Plum Blossom Lane and Sonia, and is it Elsie? Lovely to have you all here. Sorry for those of you on Instagram. It gives me your handle and not your name, so feel free to put your name in the chat. How long have I been journaling? I have been journaling for what feels like forever. I started probably about 2 years before Kezia was born, so that's probably 14 years. And in that amazing 14 years, I have completed the grand total of 2 journals. I have about 26 on the go, but I've completed 2. And then I keep making more. So now this pops a lot more. Look at that. It looks fab, doesn't it? Right, I have a bunch of scraps bunch of scraps here. And we're going to create something gorgeous with scraps. How many people have lots of scraps in their stash? And the marvellous thing about these sort of bright colours is they really pop against the black. I'm going to give these torn edges to create a little bit of interest and make them, yeah, just basically make them a bit more interesting. And I'm just going to try popping a load of them down and seeing what occurs, seeing if anything delightful happens. Oh, we have this green. So what I want to do is I need to try and make this page here look gorgeous, but I also need it to sort of pop in and do something wonderful on the page beforehand. So I'm just going to have a little look and see what it is looking like. See, because when we do this, we're now suddenly going to see pops of colour behind those dots, which is the plan of action. Plus, it's a fabulous way to use up scraps. So we need some stuff going on down here. I'm not bothered if the whole circle is not covered, really. I'm just looking for a little bit of interest. I'm not also bothered if I cover the holes, because we will correct that when we can get the crocodile out and sort that. That goes quite nicely just along the bottom there. We can neaten it up with scissors, right? Hang on. Oh, sorry guys on Instagram. I'll move you over. It's because I stream on multiple platforms, and the Instagram, the framing is just ever so slightly different, and sometimes I get it wrong a little bit. Thank you. So these papers here are from the Sherbet Fizz paper pack, and yeah, they are very bright and colourful and in your face, a bit like myself. This is definitely my sort of colour palette. Right, I think that looks quite interesting as a page, and we've got stuff in threes. I'm just going to come and double check how that is looking there. Now, I like how it's looking here, 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 and here. I don't particularly like the harsh line there. But we will be doing stuff to sort of improve it. So what I might just do is, let's get another, I like that green. Let's get another little bit just going down here that sort of works with that. Oh, we have some of this gorgeous teal. We've not got any of that in yet. Let's just see if we can do something there that works. That still works for me there. And I'm happy with that now as well. So I thank you, Sue. You're a star. Star of the week. Right. Just move all this debris over here. And pretend it doesn't exist. Right. So now I'm going to grab a glue and we shall attempt to glue this down. Hello, Marie. We're going to attempt to glue this down roughly in the same place that it currently is. Oh, look at that. First time. That's unusual. Normally the glue doesn't seem to... Right, I'm going to show you a wee tip. Ugh, can't speak there. A little tip here. Sometimes if you've laid it all out, trying to remember how it went back is a little bit difficult. So if you take your top piece and sort of glue it down, roughly. Oops. And then you've got those two pieces and you can get a bit of glue there and glue that down. And then this one is going about there. And then that one is going about here. And then this one was going about there. So I've kind of got that all where it was before. I'm not liking that little black bit, so we will just, we'll just remove that. Can't be doing with that. There we go. And then once it's all together as a whole piece, you can just glue the whole thing down. Like so. You thought you'd done quite well, but when you looked at it, you didn't look like you'd made a dent. Oh, I know, that always happens with your stash. I once went, I'm going completely the opposite technique here. I once put myself on a 6-month spending ban when it came to craft. And the only thing I allowed myself was basics. And I didn't buy anything, with the hopes that I would put a dent in my stash. And after the 6 months, I stuck to it. I didn't buy anything for 6 months. And once I got to the end of it, I was again thinking there'd be huge holes in my stash. Because I did lots of crafting, but no, you couldn't tell the difference at all. I've decided that buying craft supplies and crafting are 2 separate hobbies. They interconnect quite a bit, but they're 2 separate hobbies. I'm just going to neaten these up. As I say, we'll have to re-punch that hole, but that's okay. I would rather get the design I like and have to re-punch the hole. Right, so that now looks a little bit like that, which is fab. Now, I have some little characters, and we're going to have them sort of peeping through, I think. Like so. Now I'm just thinking you can barely see that little frog. Let's see if we've got them in a different colour. Let's try the orange. It might just stand out a little bit better. This is kind of what I'm wanting to do. That, like, you've got intrigue, and then we're going to open it up and see. You thought all craft items were essential. Absolutely. I like your thinking, Susan. Yeah, no, what I meant was like white card and glue. That's about all I allowed myself. It was very sad. Right, we've also got Winston, which we could maybe have about here. Cute, cute, cute. And then have a little hedgehog, which we can put there. So I'm going to put these characters in their places, and then we need to do stuff with them on this page for it to make sense. You found some stash too good to use. I know that happens to all of us too, but use it. Honestly, use it. I remember I bought a paper pack. It was it K & Company? Does anyone remember them? K & Company, and I think the designer was an Amy somebody. I can't remember her second name right now. Sorry, my cat is scratching at the door because she wants in. Are you staying in this time? And I bought it and I hoarded it, and do you know, I really regret it, because then it sat in my stash forever. I barely used it because it was, again, just too pretty to use. And by the time it sat in my stash for a while, I'd gone off it. Fashions changed and different things had changed, and it just no longer had the same appeal. Now, that looks quite messy at the minute, but it looks good on this page. So we've created a bit of intrigue that makes you want to turn round. But what we need to do now is to make it make sense here. So we can add, I've got a few different extra florals. We will maybe try some shadowing and some grounding. Sorry guys, you're about to have a cat up here. Come on then. You coming? You coming? There you go. Sorry, she uses my desk to climb to where she wants to go. And I could just put her onto the unit. Come on then, keep going. Keep going. I've got work to do. I've got work to do. Come on. Oi. Right. If you're not climbing up, you're going to have to go down. Oh, sorry guys. Right. Yeah, so we need to make this make sense. So I think a little bit of shadowing, a little bit of grounding, and maybe some sentiments and things, and we can have it looking fab on this side too. Let's see, we can give this one a little ladybug friend. This one's quite good because it's just sat there. I think, as I said, a little bit of shading with something will be all good to go. I quite like putting a bug near this little frog. I feel like it should be like it's looking longingly at something. Do we have a pink one? A little pink bug. Or maybe we could put the pink bug down here. Yeah, like that there. It's just gonna have to look at the sky for no apparent reason. There we go. And then we could give this little lady a raspberry. Don't know why she wants a raspberry, but it looks quite cute. So we'll go with that. Okey-dokey. Now we need to try and make it all make sense. Hello, Sue. Yes, fussy cat. She has a bed in the corner, but she likes to come up on my desk and walk to the bed herself. If I was to put her near the bed, nope. That would not be good enough. Right. Let's grab, what should we grab? I don't know. Because we need stuff that is going to show up on the black. Let's grab some pencils. Let's see, oh, she's just sitting on the floor now. Okay, that's fine. You just sit on the floor. Right, I'm going to grab some browns because we can, I know what I'm doing with little Winston guy. I kind of think I have him sorted. So let's get him sorted first. Help, you cannot spell. I'm going to have to go for a lighter one. Right, so we'll get a little bit of shadow. It's very subtle. I'm not seeing it much. So we may need some flowers or something to make him make a bit more sense, or a little sentiment. We can grab some sentiments in. But I still got you guys there. Excellent. I'm just going to bring some of this up onto his little paws as well, so it looks like it belongs. Okay. Bring it up around here again, just little bits to try and make it look, make a bit more sense. Right. I'm going to struggle with this one a bit more. This one seems naturally grounded, but the frog's just randomly floating in the air, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So let's try it. The wonders of grounding, honestly, it makes a huge difference, grounding your images. We need to do some splatters. And I also think possibly some pops with the Sakura neon gel pens might help. Right, let's just grab a little bit of green, create a little bit of grass going on here. Also think that possibly if we do a little bit of doodle work on these pieces of paper, that might help as well, because at the minute they're all sort of meshed together. So I think possibly if we do a little bit of doodle work, that will help. So we've got that slightly grounded. I've got it coming up over Mr. Froggy. And I will do the same down here as well. Okay, I'm going to do some very basic shadowing. I don't particularly want to, is this a HB pencil? I don't particularly want to start getting my watercolours out on this today. I don't think we need too much. He pops quite well, but we can maybe just do shadowing down this side. But the frog is still a little bit lost. thank you very much. Hi, Kate. Right, so I'm just going to use my HB pencil and I'm just going to scribble round the side of this frog like so. Sorry, I'm turning my paper as I work because it's easier. Metallic pencils would look nice on black card. They would indeed. I will have to have, I think I may have some in the depths of that pencil case, but it could require some searching. I do have some metallic watercolours, which we could just add a tiny touch of, I suppose. I'm now just using my pencil stump to bring that out. Honestly, Kat, you were driving me insane. Can't become them. Nope. Okay. Just going to scratch my leg. Excellent. Right, so see what we've just created a little bit of shadow around the edge of the frog. Yes, yes. Oh, okay, we're going for, you go on then. If you're going, go. Go on then, up here. Up here. Go on then, there goes loads of space. Up here. Oi! Right, okay, she's off. Hopefully she'll find her way now. Yeah, so we've created a bit of shadowing round there. And I'm going to do the same around here. Yeah, I think we'll maybe use some of the gel pens just to make it pop and add a little bit of zhuzh. Hello, Rue, how are you? So we're just going to blend that out. Like so. I don't think that one needs it. What do we think? Does this one need it? So I'm going to pop this back over again to see how that's looking like that. Still looks cute. We can still see our little characters popping over. So that's all good. Right, let's get a black pen because I think black pen might fix it. It might fix what's occurring. I think it helps to make, when you layer all the papers, edging it helps it to make sense. So all these papers do go together. They're from the same colour palette, so they'll work really well. But sometimes when you've got paper on paper on paper and different designs on top of different designs, the eye's not quite sure exactly what it's going to see. Whereas if you frame each piece, it breaks it up and the eye can make more sense of what's going on. So let's just try that and see if it helps it to look somewhat better. So I'm just going to edge all these little bits and pieces. I quite like as well to do like a faux stitching. So draw like a little cross stitch sort of thing, like you've stitched the paper together. Down here. It's not going to show up hugely on there, but I think it makes a difference. What do you think? Hello, Kitty, how are you? I'm just going into my happy place here now. Going into my crafty happy place, and then it's difficult to remember that I need to talk to you at the same time. Okay. Also feel like we're going to need splatters to fill out the blank space. And I'm going to do a little faux stitch over here. And I'm going to do a faux stitch down here. And I think that helps it to make a little bit more sense. Just a little bit. Not that art has to make sense, but it's just it becomes easier for your eye to work out what's going on. It's less confused. And you'll see that on the paper. I'm not sure if I've got a full sheet of it left, but the sheet of paper where I did have a bit of a scrap of it here. So this is the sheet of paper of the full design, and you can see I've layered different patterns together, but I also have a black line and a white line breaking it up, so it's that same principle, and then it allows your eyes to see all the different patterns. So that's kind of in the standard paper there, but obviously when we tear it up to do our own things, that disappears, but we can recreate that look just with a little bit of a black pen. So that's that. Right, let's get some gel pens. You like that technique? Good, Sue. I'm so pleased. Let's get some gel pens out and have some fun. We need to make this grounding pop a little bit more, and I think we're going to need brighter pens. So these are the Sakura gel pens. I love these. I used to have them, and then I discovered alcohol markers and decided I was only covering with alcohol markers. So then give all my gel pens to my daughter. Then watched the wee Sims on the old telly box and realised that actually I did like gel pens. So I had to buy them all again for myself. Right, I'm going to use this brown. See if that pops a little bit more. Not particularly. Are you astounded at the difference that has made? I think we're actually going to have to get some metallics on this. I think you're right, Sue. We need metallics. I think it's the only thing that's going to cut it. Get some of this brighter green on. I'm going to try doing some little dots to loosen it all up a little bit. And I think because the page is still a little bit all over the place, we'll maybe need to break it up with some sentiments. We'll get there. This is the thing though, when you're creating, it's a creative process. And it doesn't always go as you'd imagined. And as usual, I didn't really have a plan. I sort of knew I wanted to chop holes into one page and have some bright colourful stuff on the other page. That's as much of a plan as I had. And then as you go through the process, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, don't panic. If it's not right, it's not the end. You just keep going till you do like it. Our Dawn says that once it gets to the stage that you're afraid you're going to ruin it, that's when to finish. That's when you've done all you can do. If you're still not quite sure, you just keep playing until you are. Right, I'm going to add some yellow dots in here. Just trying to tie it all together a little bit. Do you know what else? I think I need to frame it. Sometimes if I'm not sure what's occurring and where to go next, I actually do a jump to the framing part sooner. So by framing, I'm just going to draw a doodly edge around the edge of it. And because we're working on black today, I'm going to go white. I know I realise that I normally do it the other way around. But the advantage of framing something is you're telling your eye where to look. So similar to what we said before about telling the eye that there's lots of different patterns. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, that's the thing. We share ideas and we all get inspired by each other and pick different parts out that we like. And then in between all of that, we find our own style. So which technique are you going to try? Is it Elise? Not sure how to pronounce your name, my darling. Is there a technique that we've covered tonight that you're going to give a try? I would love to see if you do. Yeah, so by framing this, you see already I feel happier. Your eye draws in and then it's easier to see it as a whole and to work out what's happening. And I think for me, I'm not used to my collages being so separate like this. I tend to build scenes, so the fact that we've got something going up over here and something down here and it's disjointed, that seems to be what's bothering me. So let's try putting a sentiment and then somehow getting the sentiment to connect these two pieces together. I think that's kind of what's occurring, that we've got this bit up here and we've got this bit down here. That kind of makes sense because we've got the rule of threes. So we have the rule of threes, and the rule of threes is, if you, hang on, let me clear some space. If you have two, the brain is choosing between this one and this one. Okay? Subconsciously. But if you bring in a third one, let's put a pink one in the middle. If we put in a third one, the brain actually can't do that. It's not choosing, it can't choose between this, that, and the other. So once you put 3 down, it works as a whole. So that's one rule in art, okay? And we have that here because we have the 3 pieces. But we also need to work on a Z and for it to flow so that I can easily move down. But because of this gap, we've broken that flow a little bit, and that's what we're needing to address. So I think that is the problem with it so far. And we will just keep faffing, quite frankly, until we get it to work. The woodland tots. Yes, this is the woodland tots. This little character here, I love the woodland tots. They're one of my favourites. And that's because of this little character here. Oh, not you. I mean, I like her too. But this little character too. This is Little Lady Oaks, spelled O-A-K-E-S, which I realise isn't how most people would spell oaks. But it was my grandfather, my mum's maiden name, my granddad. So my granddad was William Oakes. And yeah, so when I drew this, in fact, the day I drew it, I think I filmed it, it might be on a vlog somewhere. The day I drew it, I got really emotional because I just started drawing oak leaves. I love acorns and oak leaves because I always think of my granddad as being the mighty oak, and that as acorns we've all sort of come from him. And so I was just drawing it, not really thinking about it, going, oh, I'm going to have a little acorn girl. And then I was like, oh, my granddad. But so this collection is very close to my heart because of that little sweetie. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Let's get some sentiments. So I've got some of Dawn's Fabby sentiments. Bloom together. I quite like that. Bloom together. Cut you out, and I think we've got, so I'm needing to try and connect these two pieces, I think. So we've got bloom together, and we have create, and because I've just talked about my granddad and how he inspired me, I think I was asked earlier what inspires you, and it's literally all sorts of little everyday things. Somebody can just say something to me and I'm like, oh, it just sparks a thought or an idea. It's almost very subconscious, very organic. So I'm going to put the word inspire in as well. Inspire. So I think we put that there, and then we put this here. It's just still needing something, and it's doing my head in. Right, let's try cutting out some of these roses from the paper. It's annoying me. I know it needs something and I can't work out what it is. Aw, from Belgium. Lovely to have you. Hello, little art studio. Nice to see you. Right, let's try these flowers. I'm determined we're going to make this work. It's going to work and it's going to be fabulous. It's positive mindset it. Whose bright idea was this, eh? I focused so much on making it work on the other page that it's like, I was just determined that if I just managed to faff enough long enough, we would make it work, which I'm still confident we will. We're just having to work a little bit harder than I would have liked, but hey ho. Hey little sweetie, I think you might have to move. would it go? Oh, 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 oh. That connects, you guys, doesn't it? Have we hit upon a solution? Right. So we could put that down there, and that connects those little spots. And then we could have that there. Still looks like a big jumbled junkyard. A crafty jumbled junkyard. See, it's good to push yourself out your comfort zone and not stick to the same thing. And I think especially when I'm doing a live every week, I'm trying not to do the same comfort zone thing, which for me is to build scenes. I think that works better. We're beginning to connect the dots. It's now making this seem a little bit empty. But we will get there. Okay, I think, I really don't know. I feel like I want a bit of a gap. I kind of want a bit of a gap, and I don't want a gap all at the same time. I feel like I want to maintain. Actually, if we do that side, then we've got our Z. Yes, okay. If it's not red, it's not the end. Sometimes I get all a bit panicky like this. See, when I'm doing live crafting and everybody's watching me and it's not going how I intended, and I'm beginning to think, oh, this is embarrassing. And I start to panic about it, and then you tell me later that it's your favourite lives because I have sort of problem solved as we've gone along. Right, I think the layout of that is much better. There's still too much going on, so we're going to have to pull out the Inktense and do some proper shadowing, I think. But we're getting there. Definitely, so that's your Z formation, which allows your eye to come nicely down. So we'll stick with that. We'll trust the process, and let's hope that a little bit of shadowing will help. Inspire. Okay. I'm partly tempted to do little scribbly lines around these sentiments. There we go. And just to make myself happy, where's my... Where is... Honestly, I've lost my original page. Here we go. There we go. See, my purpose for today was that you kind of go, oh, and that really works. Look how much that works. That's fab. That really pops. And now we've got the word inspire. That's fortuitous. That just fits there. So that's fab. And then it pops over. And yeah, I think it's getting there. I'm going to go for the shadowing. I'm going to go for it. Now, of course, I have no water with me. My water pot's empty, so we will just go with a spray, and that should be enough. So let's get a dark blue. Now, the only problem with doing the shadowing on this is that I am doing the shadowing on paper that is not designed for watercolour. So this is an uncoated matte paper and not a watercolour paper. Therefore, it that will sort of kind of go, it'll just soak in all the water. That sound effect was absolutely necessary. So we're not going to get the most even watercolourness. Oh, I didn't really glue you guys down. I am sorry. Let's glue you down. Talking to my project now. Is that a sign of madness? Okay. And she goes quiet again. Okay. Oh, good. Let me. Just gonna spray a bit of water. Right. Let's try some shadowing, Mr. Frog. I don't have a name for the frog. Do we have any suggestions for a name for the frog? He's Winston. And the little oak girl is Little Lady Oaks. Oh, that is the worst brush in the world. Look at that. Can you see? Oh, hang on. Where's camera? It's like completely split. It's going to do dreadful painting. That's what occurs when you don't look after your brushes. And that would be me. I'm not very good at looking after my brushes. They do tend to sit in a pot for eons of time, which is really bad. You genuinely really should not do that. Let's see if I can find another one that's slightly healthier. Filbert. Filbert the frog. Right. Let's just see if we can make this a little bit better. I'm going to have some interesting things occur because we have pencils down here and we have the gel pen, and the gel pen is actually water reactive as well. So when you sort of do this and you don't think the whole thing through, you can end up with interesting things occurring. Now see, that's better because it's popping from the page a little bit more. I don't want to overdo it. She says overdoing it. Right. And we'll get it on underneath for the grounding of this little guy as well. Okay. That's better. I'm actually going to go around the flower as well. Well, it's different. It's nice to try new things. Right, let's give Winston the same treatment. Let's give you a little shadow, Mr. Manny. I'm going to put it onto a little bit of the white. I tend to do a kind of cut area when I cut. That sounds daft. I leave a bit of white space when I cut because it's quite frankly it's easier, especially when his eyebrows are floating in the middle of the air. But because we're putting the blue behind it on this side, it's just going to look random if there's a bit of white. So I'm just going to bring that colour back through it all. Right. Okay. And then we'll do the same with Little Miss Hedgehog. I think she's Henrietta. Need little stories for them all. Well, the mole I drew, we went for a walk along Loch Ness, myself and my friend, during lockdown. So all of these characters were drawn during lockdown. And basically, I would encourage Kezia to get her homeschooling done as quickly as possible. In the morning, and then we would go into the woods and we would take our sketch pads into the woods. I think I've got photos of us somewhere, and we would sit and do some drawings. So most of these animals I have actually seen, all the ones that are part of this collection, apart from the little mole. But I was out with my friend for a walk along Loch Ness, and we could see the earth moving, and I was like, oh, and I was so disappointed. We waited for ages. We must have just sat and watched this mound of earth moving for about 20 minutes, and then in the end decided that we'd best just leave it, and it didn't occur. But I was so disappointed that I hadn't actually seen a mole that I came home and drew one instead. Frogs I love. I've had an obsession with frogs since I was little. Hello, Sabine. Right, let's just, seeing as we've ended up getting the watercolour out, I have a set of watercolours here, metallic watercolours. So let's just see if we can lift this little bit here. I've got the gold. That's probably not going to look much at this moment, but when it dries, the metallic should really pop out from the black. So I've got a little bit of copper, a little bit of gold. And while I'm here, let's make his glasses metallic. We've got a gorgeous blue there. Now I'm just faffing. It doesn't need, that's not going to really help the overall look, but you know, I'm in faff mode now. I'm desperately faffing in order that it's going to magically come together at some point. Maybe we should do white doodles on the paper as well. Maybe it needs white as well. Give him some glittery glasses, because why not? Right, yeah. Do you know what, actually? I am going to, I've gone brown there, but maybe if I was to add a bit of the metallic green, it would match the green that's up there, and we could maybe do metallic green splatter. Do we think? Because now we're going to have to make this metallic work over the page. So, but I'm thinking if we got a bit green, let's bring it up a little bit. And we could also frame the sentiments a little bit. Right, I'm going to grab, let's see, what scraps do we have lying about? We need some scraps. I'm just going to cover our little characters. Cover you, roughly. We'll cover you and you. Right. And then I am going to grab some more of this green. Let's move you out of the way. We don't want metallic on you. Right. Let's load up this brush. Trying to get this nice and juicy. We'll just add some splatters. Splatters help everything. I'm going to just switch that round, because if splatters are one directional, they actually look worse. They're better when they're multi-directional. If your splatters all look in one direction, it looks like you had like a fan or something going, or a gust of wind just suddenly grabbed the paint out of your hand. Hello, Claire. Right. So I think it's getting there. I'm going to waft that with the old heat gun, and then I think I'm going to try with the white gel pen, adding a few more doodles and framing those sentiments, and let's hope that says dot to something that is respectable. Sorry, just plugging the old heat gun in. Plus, if I just dry it, I don't want to dry it too much because we don't want to warp the page, but we will also metallic paint, white stars, metallic paint only sort of comes to life when it is dry. See, but we have caused some of these paper bits to curl. I'm just going to grab a bit more glue, get them stuck back down. guys back down. Okay. Get my white pen out again. So I'm thinking that if we just do a little sort of doodly line around the sentiments. It's not going to go over the watercolour there, but that's alright. Yeah, that looks better. Framing is everything. It's amazing the difference a little frame will make. There we go. And then Sue has suggested some white stars, so why not? Just draw in some white stars. There we go. It is definitely not my usual style, so I'm going to have to take a moment to look at it and think about it. But I think we are done. Now, what I do say with people is quite often, especially if you've done something that's not a normal style like this, it's really easy to zoom in and focus on the stuff that we don't like. So when you are feeling like that, try not to do that. Instead, look at it and pick out 2 things that you do like. So in this, I really like the way the white frame makes the sentiments pop. And I like the colours. If I was to do it differently, so it's okay to kind of give yourself constructive criticism, but it's kind of like next time I will. So if you've learned something, then it's all fab. If I was to do this again, I would try and think more about how the pieces connect so they don't look quite so random. But anyway, it's fun. So here is how it will look in my journal. So in the journal, we will have 1 page there, and then we will turn it around. Now, what we do need to do at some point, not tonight, is we need to make this page match this page, because obviously it'll be sitting together in the journal like that. So we will need to do something with that. But yeah, that's it. Now hang on, let me just sort out lighting. I'm so vain. Come on, light up keyboard. Everything's been stuck in random places now. That's, yeah. Thank you ever so much for joining me. So there's our finished page. And that will go in my journal. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, there is daily inspiration in the Facebook group, so feel free to pop across there. I will be on the socials, so, well, I will see you about. And if you do make anything using JMC products, please do tag me, because I just want to be nosy and have a look, quite frankly. So thank you very much, and I will see you. Hi, Caitlin. I will see you guys next time. So we'll be back next